Hello and welcome back to the Built Different podcast with your host, Steven Petigrew. On the third episode of this little mini-series related to my webinar, How Much Is My Business Worth.net, this is the third key point that adds massive value and builds you a fantastic business that I wanted to go through in a bit of detail. And having bought many businesses over the years, having been involved in M&A for a number of years and seen big deals, small deals, deals that have went wrong, this is a really important factor here. It's build to sell or create an amazing business. This is the third key point I want to make. Why should you build a business to sell? Well, it has many different reasons for that. If you build a business to sell, it means that it's optimized. It means that you have a fantastic team. It means that you've got fantastic profits. You've got leads coming from all different areas. You've created a lead generation machine, effectively. And once you build that type of business, and you're no longer the owner operator, and you're working on the business rather than in the business, you can then enjoy the fruits of your labour, first of all. So you have more time, more money, and more freedom. And that's what all of us want as business owners, right? So that's the key reason why you should build it to sell, and it's within your reach. If you have a traditional trades business, marketing business, transport business, heating and ventilation business, whatever it may be, everyone has got the capability of building a business to sell. What that premium will be is really up to you and the work you do now, but it's really important to actually start with that in mind. You will exit your business at some point, whether you like it or not, whether it's through selling it, whether it's through ill health, whether it's through death, unfortunately, whether it's through any number of means, you will exit that business, so you should do it on your terms. The other key thing here is the retirement and pension conundrum that's going on right now in the UK specifically, because the retirement age is getting extended almost every few years now, and that's because the pension system in the UK cannot sustain the level of pension that's required for people getting to retirement age. Now, you do not want to rely on a pension when you get to retirement age, and the best way to do that is to create a business whereby you can sell that business for a life-changing sum of money. And when you do that, you can then reinvest those funds into different assets, whether it be stocks, shares, property, or any number of different things that gets your return on your money. And you can do that relatively young. I've sold businesses 2 or 3 times already. I've sold 2 in 2024 alone. My business partners have also sold businesses. We have over 15 businesses in the group at the moment, and we're all working towards capital events. We're all looking to build value in those businesses and sell them, and you can do that from any age. But if you have a business right now, it's so important to consider that this could be the best way, the biggest asset that you've got to create that capital event that you can then reinvest and have a good life. Because if you keep working without building any real value in that business and no one wants to buy it, you're then relying on the state pension, which is honestly a terrible idea. There's many more intelligent people than me that are referring to this. One of them is Andrew Craig, who's written a fantastic book called How to Own the World, and I recommend you go and read that, because this goes into real detail about the pension crisis in the UK. And in my eyes, one of the best ways to take control is to go and build your business and eventually sell it. Again, something we can help with if you want. The best time to sell is now. Now, the reason the best time to sell is now is you don't know what's around the corner. My mum and dad had a massive business that was doing over £35 million a year. They had several offers on the table of £15, £20 million at several points throughout that period of time, and they didn't take up that option. Now, without going into all the details, that business eventually crumbled and was decimated, and they lost out on that big exit. And it gave me an insight into what can go wrong. You can be flying one day and the next day something can go terribly wrong and you lose that asset. So it's important, if you have a business, to quickly come up with a strategy, a clear strategy with professionals who can help you achieve that exit, because you don't know if that business is going to be there tomorrow. It doesn't mean necessarily sell it right now to the highest bidder today, but have a plan in place, because most people don't. Most people don't actually have a plan to sell the business or improve the business. So get something in place, work to that plan. My good friend Chris Peace, who is one of the first guests, or the very first guest on my podcast actually, he had a goal to sell his business for a figure, an amount of money, by the time he was 45. And he had his vision boards, he had all his plans to do so, and he achieved it a few days before he turned 45. So well done to Chris on that. But that's an exploration of how to actually achieve that goal. Make the business look attractive and make it easy for a buyer, because for businesses out there and business buyers, they have so many options. When I'm looking to buy a business in a particular industry, there's several options that I can execute on at any one time, and I'm going to go for the option that is the best business first and foremost for various reasons, but also the business owner who's the easiest to work with. I'm not going to work with someone and try and do a deal with someone who is very restrictive and putting loads of guards up, and I want to work with someone that wants to do a deal. So if you're looking to sell your business, you need to go in with that mindset of trying to do a deal. You might not get there, you might not come to an agreement, but have the walls down a little bit and try and negotiate with the buyer. You need to scope out potential buyers ahead of time to actually sell the business. Now, that doesn't mean you go around telling everybody that your business needs to be sold for this amount of money. Just yesterday, actually, one of the businesses we've got in Edinburgh, it's an electrical business, and those guys want to go and acquire other electrical businesses. And we had a strategy day a few days ago discussing how to actually acquire businesses. And one of the really simple things I said to them, because they asked me, how do we actually start doing this process? I said to them, just start having conversations with people. Let your market know, let your suppliers know, let your customers know that you're in the market looking to acquire businesses. And guess what? Yesterday they had an opportunity that landed on their desk. An owner of a competitor had phoned them up and said, we want to sell our business. I heard you're in the market. Are you up for a conversation? So there's many ways to start that process. You can do some stuff with brokers. If you have a good broker, we can recommend some good ones. They're not all good, I've got to say. We can also look to do a marketing campaign. And because we're plugged into the market, we know who the serious buyers are in that market as well. Be ready to sell even if you don't want to. Now, the really cool thing about building a business that's optimized and efficient and profitable is that you don't have to sell it. You can enjoy that business. If it's really efficient and it's really running smoothly, you can literally sit back, enjoy the profits, enjoy the business as it is, but be ready to sell. Even in that situation, if you get a good offer that comes in, take it, because as I mentioned, sometimes you don't know what's around the corner, and you're better capitalising on that event when you've got the opportunity to do so. And businesses, remember, are a volatile asset. As I've said before, one day it can be worth a good sum of money, the next day it can be worth zero because of so many different factors out there. So know that this process can be done on your own. You can do all of this stuff on your own. There's so much resource, for example, on our website, on my profile on LinkedIn. But if you're looking for support on this, we help business owners all the time to build their business of their dreams and eventually sell that business. We have a system, systemize, scale, exit, and we implement that into all the businesses we work with. We help to drive the profits, improve the marketing strategy, allow you to become a key person of influence, get more time, money and freedom, and eventually sell that business. So if you're looking for some support on that, at Monopoly we can help you. Head to our website, monopolycapital.com, where there's a form you can fill in, get in touch, and we can then get to work and improve your business and hopefully sell that business for a life-changing sum of money for you. For now, that's all for this little mini-series, and I'll speak to you again very soon.